Your Excellency, Mr. Hali Mariam, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to read the statement of the Secretary General of the United Nations, which is a message to the Abuja +12 Special Follow-up Summit on HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other related infectious diseases. And I read, I'm pleased to send greetings to this important summit. At the beginning of this century, Africa's leaders declared the AIDS epidemic a full-fledged emergency and made unprecedented commitments on tuberculosis and malaria. They pledged increased government funding for health and called on donors countries for greater support. The following year, the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria was born. Since then, the Rollback Malaria Partnership, the Stop TB Partnership, and the entire UN system, through the co-sponsors under the umbrella of UNAIDS, including WHO, the UNDP, UNICEF, UNFPA, UNESCO, the World Food Programme, ILO, UN Women, UNHCR, UNODC, and the World Bank have rallied global support, triggering one of the most spectacular responses in the history of infectious diseases, and I might add, indeed, in global health that the world has ever witnessed. Today, I wish to observe that great progress has been made. 25% fewer people die of malaria today than in 2000. Each year, less people fall ill with tuberculosis, and the world seems to be on track to achieve the Millennium Development Goal of reversing the spread of the disease by the year 2015. Dramatic progress has also been made in the fight against HIV and AIDS, with nearly 10 million people on antiretroviral treatment worldwide. Fewer people are dying or becoming infected. Before the 2001 Abuja Declaration, HIV treatment in Africa was almost non-existent. And 11 years later, 7.5 million in this continent are receiving antiretroviral treatment. It is also significant to note that in 7 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, new HIV infections among children have been reduced by 50% or more. And Africa is now leading the world in the drive to eliminate mother-to-child transmission of HIV by 2015. The key to this has been strong leadership, beginning with the political commitments outlined in the original Abuja agreements that generated a flow of funds from within Africa and from the international community. It is also significant that scientific advances have also played a major role with simplified diagnostic tests and safer and more effective treatments, along with the commitment of health workers continent-wide. Yet, malaria, TB, AIDS, and other infectious diseases still pose a significant threat to the well-being and development of people in sub-Saharan Africa. Every minute, a child dies of malaria. 1 in 20 adults live with HIV. TB infection rates are the highest in the world, with more than 260 cases per 100,000 people in 2011. What is more worrisome is that many Africans endure the double burden of HIV and TB. Now let me digress and speak to two important global initiatives that have launched in 2010 with the support of member states. I launched Every Woman, Every Child, which put into action a global strategy for women and children's health. The health of women and children is critically important to almost every area of human development. And if we want progress, we have to direct our attention to this. It also has impact on our success in achieving the Millennium Development Goals adopted by the world leaders in the year 2000. Of course, this includes Goal 6, which speaks to reduction of AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. Saving lives of women and children also include keeping the money moving for prevention of mother-to-child transmission by improving the quality of HIV testing, counseling to mothers, treatment of infected mothers, and exploring the feasibility of universal access to life-saving commodities. The issue of universal access to life-saving commodities actually goes beyond these three diseases. This was a major commitment that we made as global leaders when this was launched as the Global Commission on Life-Saving Commodities last year. And I would like to put on record and thank His Excellency, President Goodluck Jonathan, for accepting to chair that commission. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 1,000 days until the MDG's deadline in 2015. Now, we have done a lot. The goals seem to be set, but if we are going to achieve it, we still need to do a lot more. Let us, at this time, heed the warnings of history. Let us maintain the momentum that we have created and make sure that we don't halt it, because then we can reverse progress. And progress that we've made for AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. My call at Abuja Plus 12 is for renewed leadership and particularly increased domestic funding and the international systems assisting Africa to achieve the goals that they set for themselves. We need new investments in improved tests and drugs and build stronger health services and systems to deliver them. More human resources for health, better logistics management system, and a better monitoring and evaluation system. This summit can be and provide a tipping point in Africa's progress on health, and health in the broadest sense. Let us use the entry points of AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria to broaden public health policy and ensure that we can include this in all aspects of the work we do, especially in humanitarian, in peace building, conflict resolution, and particularly in development. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let us finish the work begun at the beginning of the century so we can bring greater equity, security, opportunity, and prosperity to all the people of Africa. I thank you for listening.